On Ticker, this is Import Export with Lawrence Christofels.
So Steve, thanks so much for joining us, mate. Really proud to have you on the show.
Thanks a lot for the invite. Thanks, Lawrence.
Great. For those of you who don't know much, those of the audience who don't know much about Cargo Club, can you give us a bit of an insight?
Sure.
How it started, how it came about?
Well, we've been going, I think it's our 53rd year.
Wow.
So it kicked off in 1967.
Yeah.
Set up around, it was originally called the Air Cargo Club of Australia.
Yeah.
And it was set up at Tullamarine Airport, basically by some workers at the airport that wanted to get together and talk about their day's work. And then it sort of like snowballed from there, and then basically turned into more of a group of airlines and then people around the airport with involved cargo handling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of freight forwarders and brokers are involved, and that air freight piece has now expanded into a lot of other cargo operators, transport and sea freight as well, yeah?
Correct, because I sort of got involved with the club probably about 10 years ago, and it had started to die and dwindle basically because it was so air freight dominated, and having said that, there was less and less people coming along, so I thought it'd be a good idea to sort of like open up to everybody within the industry as a whole, and basically we revamped the club about 4 or 5 years ago and turned it into the Cargo Club and invited everybody within the supply chain to come along and get involved.
Yeah, one of the things I really love and admire about what you guys have done with the Cargo Club is how you really put your arms around the whole community and some of the charity work. So maybe it's worth touching base on that. And those
sure.
Type of
so we're a non-for-profit organisation, and all the money that we raise through our events, we basically put it to good use for charitable donations to people. And what we try to do is actually get away from the big donations to the Children's Hospital and stuff like that. Having said that, we've done that in the past, but what we try to do is the grassroots and actually give money directly to the people that are in need. We've, in fact, closest to us was actually our vice president of the Cargo Club about 3 years ago. He actually unfortunately had a stroke at about the age 49. He was in a coma for 2 months.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he can't work anymore. And he had 2 young sons that were in high school at Assumption College. And basically the club over the last 3 years has paid for their tuition to basically continue on at school. Glad to say we've got the last boy going through this year.
Great. Yeah.
So over the last 3 years, we've probably donated $30,000 to the Noon family.
Great.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because, when I first came into freight forwarding, I was, back in those days, a runner that we used to call, I used to go and mark off the bills and had the pager and the brick mobile phone, and, you'd go line up at Aquis and Customs down in Latrobe Street, and you'd all be chatting, but you'd all have industry nights at Bobby McGee's on Mondays. I don't know if you remember those days, but, it was a good family. Everyone knew each other. It was a really close-knit type of industry. And now with technology and, you sort of do everything online, you lose that sort of connectivity. So I think what you're doing with Cargo Club and, really bringing that community back, as in that forwarding sector, air freight, sea freight, even the transport boys, it's really powerful and it's really important, similar to what we try and do with ATLC as well. But, we do a lot with importers, exporters, where you guys are really supporting the whole sector. So, really admire how that works and how the events put on, and how that community, that feel is very present. I've been to the events, as you know, last year, and it's a great vibe about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know, Steve, you've got some charity. You've got a golf day, I should say, coming up.
Yeah, sure. So it's not this Friday; it's the following Friday, and we've had a golf day for many years, even when it was the Air Cargo Club. But again, when we rebranded the Cargo Club, decided we wanted to, actually help a charity out. So we went back to our members and guests that come along and tried to find somebody within the industry that needed it. And there was a gentleman that comes along to our events from Direct Couriers. His daughter suffers from, it's called crise de chat, and it's a chromosome problem, a bit similar to Down syndrome, but they don't get a lot of funding. In fact, I don't think they get any at all.
Really?
And it's very rare. So basically, he came to us and we said, well, why don't we make the golf day all about crise de chat? And it's about the support group. So basically, once unfortunately your child's been diagnosed with crise de chat, then basically they get the information about the support group, and then basically they come around them as a family to help them through obviously some of the needs that they're going to have to go through.
Yeah.
So I think that this will be our 4th year that we've done it for Kootasharp.
Yeah.
So basically the money that we raise on the day funds the support group for the next 12 months.
Fantastic. So can everyone come along to the golf day? How do they get involved? And obviously it's a great cause.
Yep.
Is there a website? What's the best way for people to come along and have some fun with the golf, but also contribute to a fantastic cause like that?
Sure. So the best place is to actually come to our website, which is cargoclub.com.au. There'll be information about the golf day. You can click onto a link, and basically you can purchase your tickets there.
Yep.
Again, basically on that website we'll have all of our upcoming days that we've got events on.
Yep.
What we do a golf day, kicks off the year, then we normally do 3 business networking lunches, and we'll have guest presenters come along, normally 3, maybe 4,
Yep.
talking about different things within the supply chain.
Yeah.
They're normally held up at the Mantra at Tullamarine.
Okay.
So predominantly our audience is up around Tullamarine with freight forwarders, customs brokers, etc.
Yep.
And then in the middle of the year we have a winter party, which is more of a social event.
Yep.
Even though it's cold outside, we like to let our hair down and warm up.
Good excuse to warm up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes people have a sore head the next day, but it's good fun.
Yeah.
And then we have a Christmas style party. It's normally the last week of November before everybody else gets going.
Yeah.
So we mix a bit of pleasure with also some business
that's
as well.
important. Yeah.
But of course, the whole aim is to raise money for our charitable donations to people.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And it is an amazing cause, so I really encourage you to go to cargoclub.com.au, check out the golf day coming up in Friday week, yeah?
Yep.
And that's open to anyone. You don't have to be in the industry.
No. There's still places available.
Yeah.
But we really need to get you guys, if you're interested, to get onto the website as soon as possible so we can book you in.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I wanted to touch base as well, Steve, while I got you here, because obviously Cargo Club is one of your hats, but you've been in this industry for many, many years. You've seen a lot of changes. What's your sort of feel on how things are evolving with supply chain, especially air freight? The compliance is an issue. We've got so many things. I know I'm giving you some questions without notice, but things like stuff with the coronavirus now. There's a lot of things going on, which
sure.
It seems like every week there's something new challenge from a freight perspective.
Well, definitely. Look, I've been in the industry over 25 years, and it's never a boring day. There's always something weird and wonderful happening, and always challenges. And as a freight forwarder, that's our job, is to deal with the challenges that are in front of us. And I suppose nobody really wanted us as everything was plain sailing. Look, the coronavirus is going to be a real headache for everybody, unfortunately.
And it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon either.
No, look, I was only talking about it yesterday, and the impact that it'll have within our industry. There'll be backlogs. Freight rates will go through the roof.
Yep.
I think the only people will be happy will be the shipping lines and the airlines. And it'll obviously come down to us at the end user parties, the consumers, that are going to pay a lot more money for their goods. Yeah,
that's right. And I think that it's, as you say, there's always things happening. There's a whole range of other sustainability pushes and environmental pushes, a lot of more compliance factors on forwarders and freight handlers to really make sure that they're doing the right thing by all the border control officers, but also now it's an increasing role that the forwarders play, as well as the other associations like CBFCA and all the others, the boys, that they really have to educate importers and exporters about what they need to be doing.
Yep.
And so keeping up to date with all the legislation and the latest things, it's a challenge in itself.
Yeah, and again, there's lots of costs involved to actually keep on top of those things and all the extra legislation and whatnot. So, everything's going up.
It doesn't get any easier. And from a perspective of Cargo Club, obviously those core events throughout the year, where would you like to take Cargo Club over the next couple of years? Is there a sort of vision for that? Yeah, look, it's been a battle, and it was when we revamped it as well. We found that the memberships, unfortunately, are people over 40, and we really like to get some younger people into the club to come along, and so the club can continue on. There's lots of other fresh young people out there with probably
better ideas than myself, and I'd love for somebody to come along and, you know, working with me, and then, you know, take over the presidency. You know, I'm getting a bit old myself, so you know, that's what it's all about, is to get some young talent involved and whatnot. After this, I'm actually going over to with the CBFCA with your good mate Zoran. And this year we've implemented a scholarship for a young member of the CBFCA that to get involved in the industry. So the cargo club was basically paying for his course. So which is a freight forwarding course. So we'll probably be doing more of that. We like to give back to the industry, not just like on charity, but also it's been a great ride for me, and I think most of the people that are in the industry, and to be able to give something back to the next generation or generation before them, it'd be great.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable, because, you know, bringing those younger generations of forwarders and freight specialists through, you know, it's all happening behind the scenes. So consumers don't really see how this stuff comes in and out of the country, or, you know, all the intricate skills that you need to do it. And as we talked about before, it's getting increasingly more professional. You know, back in my day, you know, you could pretty much anyone could get into the industry, and now you need to understand, you know, data and freight handling and DG and, you know, a whole range of reporting requirements. So it is becoming a real profession, or it's already become, I should say, a really strong profession now that people should celebrate, and the younger generation doing a great job. But equally, you know, a lot of forwarders, especially because of cost pressures, have actually outsourced a lot of things like offshore as well, which has got pros and cons with it. One of the cons is that you lose that sort of, you know, that skills training coming through the sector. That only gets, you only get that from experience and working with people like yourself who have actually lived through, you know, when the proverbial hits the fan moments through freight, because you can't learn that in theory. You know, it's got to be through practice.
Yeah, look, I've got my nephew. He I don't know whether it was the right thing to get him involved in the industry, but he started about a year ago. And I don't think a lot of people, I know myself, you know, I fell into this industry by mistake. I was an electrician by trade, and one day started selling security alarms door to door. Sold one to a guy that was in freight forwarding, and 2 weeks later I started off my career. And I think most people don't, especially the younger people in high school, they don't see freight and logistics as a career. So hopefully we can get more and more of them involved, because, you know, it really is interesting.
It's interesting, it's fun, you get to deal with so many different products, you know, you get to have different type of cargo stuff. And it's really, I mean, I think, you know, it's really cool when you start seeing younger people going through the freight sector and industry, where, you know, they'll walk through a shopping centre and say, oh yeah, look, I manage the, you know, the clearance for that, or the freight for that. And
I do that all the time.
And, you know, it's something that, again, it's sort of out of sight, out of mind when it comes to forwarding. And it is a real, it's a joy to see when those younger people think, okay, well, now I get how this stuff actually gets on the shelves.
No, it's true. I've got a customer from China, and they manufacture baby food packaging. And I must say, when I go down through the aisle and I see that, I've got a big smile on my face.
Because people are proud of, you know, being involved with that supply chain, and, you know, it's a really important thing that, you know, we as an industry really encourage more people to take the vocation up. You know, we work with a number of, you know, universities who are putting on logistics courses, international trade courses, and, you know, it's a challenge for them to make, you know, supply chain sexy.
True. And that's the other thing is also, you know, a lot of the time in universities, unfortunately, it's all theory. I actually went, about 10 years after I started my career, I actually ended up doing a supply chain course, logistics management, and I remember when I first started there, the professors were a little bit upset because I kept on telling them what actually happens in reality against theory. And so it'd be good that, you know, if they can, you know, get involved with some of the freight forwarders and, you know, transport operators, and get some of the kids out of the classroom and get it and go and see what goes on in a day-to-day operation.
Hands-on experience. It's really valuable. I think that there's so much to learn, because, as you say, theory, and most of the theory, you know, it moves so quickly that it's pretty much outdated every 12 months, every 2 years anyway. You know, the reporting requirements, the systems that Border Force can put in place, and, you know, things like stink bugs and all that stuff. You don't learn that at school. You know? So there's all these sort of things that, you got no idea how to tackle when you hit with it. So it's really cool stuff, and we're really happy, and we'll continue to promote the great work that you guys are doing at Cargo Club, and want to have you on as a regular, and whatever we can do to promote the industry, promote the engagement of the community as well. We really want to get involved with that as well. So there's so many great opportunities, and try and create that awareness about how to get involved with supply chain overall, but especially from the freight sector, and hopefully get some more people who want that mentoring, and if they put their hand up and say, look, come along, and we can pass people on to yourself as well who say, look, can we get some maybe work experience or something? I don't know, but
yeah, sure, that'd be great, Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like I said, anything I can give back to the industry, I'm more than happy to do. And thanks for the opportunity coming on here today and having a chat. And,
no, my pleasure, Steve.
Would love to come back again and talk some more.
Yeah, fantastic. Look forward to it, and we'll definitely take you up on that. Best of luck with next Friday's golf day. I can't be there, I'm sorry, and I'm not very good as a golf anyway, so you're not missing out on anything. But best of luck with that. Hope you raise lots of money and have a great day, as you do always. So thanks again, Steve, and thanks for joining us.